The air hung heavy, thick with the aroma of incense and sizzling spices. Chinatown, a vibrant tapestry of tradition and secrets, throbbed beneath the neon glow of pagoda rooftops. In its heart, Laurie Lu navigated the crowded streets, her steps purposeful, her eyes sharp. She moved like a phantom, a stark contrast to the boisterous life swirling around her. Larry hadn't always been a creature of shadows. Born under the same shimmering lanterns, she'd once dreamt of owning a quaint bookshop, its shelves overflowing with stories waiting to be told. Life, however, had a cruel way of rewriting dreams. The closure of her father's struggling restaurant, followed by his untimely demise, had plunged Larry into a world she never knew existed. Desperate to save her family from financial ruin, Larry had stumbled underbelly. She'd started small, petty theft, barely enough to make ends meet. But her quick wit and even quicker hands soon caught the eye of Jin, a seasoned player in the city's criminal underworld. Jin recognized her potential, the steely glint in her eyes that spoke of a hidden fire. Under his tutelage, Laurie blossomed. She learned to pickpocket without a trace, crack safes like whispering secrets, and disappear into crowds like smoke. Yet, a part of her, the part that yearned for the musty comfort of old books, remained untouched. And it was this part that would lead her to the most audacious gamble of her life, the agricultural bank heist. The weight of her family's debt pressed down on Larry, heavier than the humid San Francisco fog. Her mother, once a beacon of strength, now withered with each passing day, her health deteriorating alongside their finances. Larry knew she had to act, had to make a move bold enough to erase their debts and secure their future. Jin, sensing her desperation, had presented her with the opportunity, the agricultural bank, a fortress of money rumored to hold millions in its vault. It was a suicide mission, he'd warned, a fool's errand, but for Laurie, it was the only option. The thought of robbing a bank, a symbol of everything her honest upbringing condemned, filled her with dread. But the fear for her family's well-being eclipsed her own moral compass. Larry agreed, knowing there was no turning back. The weight of her decision settled in her stomach, a leaden knot of fear and determination. She would walk into the lion's den, not for greed or glory, but for the faintest glimmer of hope for her family's salvation. Jin, true to his reputation, had assembled a motley crew for the heist. There was Marco, the explosives expert, his face etched with the scars of a life lived too close to the edge. His nimble fingers could disarm a bomb with the same dexterity they used to roll a cigarette. Then there was Ava, the master of disguise, a chameleon who could blend into any crowd, her true face a mystery even to them. And finally, there was Ben, the getaway driver, a man of few words and even fewer scruples. His skills behind the wheel were legendary, his beat-up Chevy a blur of chrome and grit on the city streets. Together, they were an unlikely quartet, bound by circumstance and a shared thirst for a big score. Laurie observed them from the shadows, their faces illuminated by the flickering light of a gas station sign. They were criminals, no doubt, but in their eyes she saw a glimmer of her own desperation, a reflection of her own yearning for a life less ordinary. Despite her initial reservations, Larry found herself drawn to their camaraderie, their shared purpose. They were a team, united against the odds, and for the first time since her father's passing, Laurie felt a flicker of hope, a sense of belonging that transcended their criminal intent. The planning was meticulous, a delicate dance of timing and precision. Jin, with his years of experience, orchestrated every detail, transforming their hazy aspirations into a concrete plan of action. They met in hushed whispers in dingy warehouses and abandoned buildings, their clandestine gatherings shrouded in secrecy. Laurie studied the blueprints of the agricultural bank, its labyrinthine corridors and reinforced vault doors imprinted on her memory. Each twist and turn, every security measure became a puzzle piece to be analyzed and exploited. The bank, once a symbol of stability and security, now represented a tangible manifestation of her desperation. Sleep offered little respite, her dreams haunted by images of flashing sirens and the cold, unforgiving bars of a prison cell. The weight of their plan, the knowledge that failure was not an option, pressed down on her, a constant reminder of the stakes involved. Yet she pushed forward, fueled by the hope of a better future for her family. As the day of the heist drew closer, a strange sense of calm settled over Laurie. The fear remained, a constant companion, but it was tempered by a steely resolve. a determination to see their plan through to its bitter end. The day of the heist dawned like any other, the sun casting long shadows over the bustling city. Yet beneath the veneer of normalcy, the air crackled with anticipation. Laurie could feel her pulse quicken with each passing moment, the drumbeat of her heart echoing the ticking clock. They assembled at their designated rendezvous point, a nondescript warehouse on the outskirts of Chinatown. The familiar scent of dust and decay hung heavy in the air, a stark contrast to the life-altering sum that awaited them. One last time, they went over the plan, their voices hushed but firm, each member acutely aware of the gravity of their undertaking. As the final hour approached, Larry felt a surge of adrenaline course through her veins. The fear was still there, a knot of anxiety in the pit of her stomach, but it was overshadowed by a strange sense of exhilaration. This was it, the culmination of weeks of planning, of sleepless nights and whispered conversations. The weight of their expectations hung heavy in the air, a tangible reminder of the life-altering consequences that lay ahead. They were about to step into the unknown, to tempt fate and challenge the very fabric of their existence. And Larry, the once aspiring bookstore owner, found herself at the heart of it all. The bank's interior was deceptively calm, the gentle hum of fluorescent lights a stark contrast to the storm brewing outside. Laurie, disguised as a bank teller, her heart pounding against her ribs, followed Jin's meticulously crafted script. Every smile felt strained, every word a monumental effort. Across the room, Marco, disguised as a maintenance worker, tinkered with a security camera, his movements practiced and precise. Ava, a vision of elegance in a tailored business suit, engaged the bank manager in seemingly innocuous conversation, diverting his attention away from the unfolding drama. The minutes stretched into an eternity, each tick of the clock amplified in the silence. Larry could feel the sweat trickling down her spine, her nerves stretched taut as piano wires. She fought the urge to flee, to abandon the plan and disappear into the anonymity of the city. But then she saw it. A flicker of recognition in Jin's eyes. A signal that the time was right. He moved with the grace of a seasoned predator, his hand darting out to disarm the silent alarm before anyone could react. The moment of truth had arrived. The air crackled with tension as Marco, his face grim, expertly worked on the vault door, the metallic screech of his tools echoing in the cavernous space. The scent of burning metal filled the air, a potent reminder of the delicate line they were treading between success and catastrophic failure. Outside, Ben waited, the engine of his beat-up Chevy purring like a caged beast, ready to whisk them away from the scene of the crime. Every muscle in Laurie's body screamed at her to run, to escape the suffocating pressure, but she stood her ground, her gaze fixed on the vault door. With a deafening clang, the final lock disengaged, the heavy vault door swinging open to reveal its gleaming contents. Rows upon rows of neatly stacked bills, a king's ransom in cold, hard cash, lay before them, a tangible representation of their audacious gamble. But their moment of triumph was short-lived. The distant wail of approaching sirens pierced the air, a chilling reminder that their carefully crafted plan had unraveled. Their escape route had been compromised, their time running out. Panic surged through the bank, customers screaming, alarms blaring. The carefully orchestrated heist had descended into chaos. Laurie, her heart pounding against her ribs, grabbed a duffel bag, stuffing it with cash, her movements frantic, adrenaline coursing through her veins. They piled into Ben's waiting car, the engine roaring to life as they screeched away from the curb, leaving a trail of confusion and mayhem in their wake. The city lights blurred into streaks of color as Ben navigated the crowded streets, sirens wailing in hot pursuit. Back at their hideout, the reality of their situation sank in. They had the money, more money than they had ever dreamed of, but their victory felt hollow, tainted by the knowledge that their freedom hung precariously in the balance. Days turned into weeks, the news filled with reports of the daring agricultural bank robbery. Laurie, haunted by the memory of the heist, retreated into the shadows, the weight of her actions pressing down on her soul. Their faces, plastered on wanted posters across the city, served as a constant reminder of their precarious position. Fate, however, had a strange sense of humor. One evening, seeking a distraction from the relentless pressure, Larry bought a lottery ticket, a whimsical act of defiance against the odds stacked against her. She thought nothing of it, tossing the ticket aside, her mind consumed by their predicament. Days later, while scanning the news, her eyes fell upon the winning lottery numbers. She froze, her blood turning to ice as she realized the impossible truth. The random string of numbers on the discarded ticket matched the winning combination. She had won. The irony was not lost on her. A life of crime had brought her nothing but fear and uncertainty, while a simple twist of fate had handed her a fortune beyond her wildest dreams. The lottery win, a beacon of hope in the encroaching darkness, allowed her to settle her family's debts and secure their future. Laurie Liu, the infamous Chinatown bank robber, disappeared from the public eye, her legend fading into obscurity. Some whispered of her audacity, others marveled at her luck. But for Laurie, the true victory lay not in the stolen riches or the lottery win, but in the redemption she found in the most unexpected of circumstances.